You know, I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
WNBA has completely mismanaged its biggest star in Caitlin Clark, and it's really sad to see. She is the primary catalyst for their new media rights deals, sold out stadiums, having to move to bigger arenas just to feel how many fans are coming to the games. The primary catalyst for them now having private charter flights and a new CBA that pays them top dollar. Yet the WNBA at every turn seems to have misstep after misstep after misstep. The truth is, basketball is competitive and it gets physical at every level. But what Alyssa Thomas did was dirty to Caitlin Clark. And with countless examples of this targeted behavior towards the WNBA's biggest star, it's only right that the WNBA has to change the way that it officiates games to protect its players. From Caitlin Clark to every single WNBA player down the line. But it's so sad that all this drama is taking away from what the focus should be, basketball.
And to the ground, and that's a hand to the neck, and then
driving into a wall at full speed with Caitlin Clark. They now have a commemorative poster of 30 years of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's not on it. And it's not just like an ode to the veterans that started the league. Paige Beckers and Angel Reese are on it. And Caitlin...
A single controversial incident has sent the WNBA into turmoil, with former players, analysts, and even basketball icons now demanding explanations. What initially appeared to be nothing more than a physical play has quickly grown into a league-wide discussion about fairness, accountability, and the way Caitlin Clark is being treated on the court. So, why are so many people insisting that Alyssa Thomas should face disciplinary action? What new evidence has fueled this growing debate? And could this be only the first chapter in an even larger controversy surrounding the WNBA? After a pair of emotional matchups and several physical exchanges this week, the spotlight has once again shifted to Caitlin Clark and the league's officiating that on Monday, the Indiana Fever squared off against the Phoenix Mercury in a tense contest that featured 6 technical falls, including one assessed to Clark, along with an ejection. When the teams met again on Wednesday, another flashpoint emerged. During a scramble for a loose ball, Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas appeared to drive her fist into Clark's neck, despite the contact. Officials allowed play to continue without calling a foul, a decision that immediately ignited criticism and intensified the ongoing conversation about player protection in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark, she falls to the ground, she kind of loses the ball, and then Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner are both going in to try to get the loose ball. This is just bad right here, you guys. So Alyssa Thomas kind of dives in, but you can see her fist go straight into her neck, and then there's another angle where her knee kind of goes into her groin, and this is at minimum a flagrant 1, and nothing was called here. You could see everybody's running back the other direction. Caitlin's slow to get up. This wasn't called. And then there was another play later on in the game where it was a clear landing space foul.
No one could have predicted that a single sequence would spark one of the WNBA's most heated controversies of the season. Yet, that is exactly what unfolded. What started as an intense, hard-fought game rapidly evolved into a nationwide debate over player safety, the consistency of officiating, and whether the league is truly doing enough to safeguard its biggest stars.
What do you think of the play, the suspension, the reviews, all of it?
I just think it's so tough because the WNBA is physical. And when I think about a loose ball, I know that I've died at the bottom of some loose balls before.
After Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas was suspended only 1 game for punching Caitlin Clark in the throat, one of her teammates and the associate head coach came to her defense. Thomas punched Caitlin Clark in the throat and kneed her in the groin. If anybody is cruel and a bully, it's Alyssa Thomas.
Caitlin Clark gotta fight one of these women. She has to fight one of these women. I say this with a straight face because, Caitlin, eventually if you fight somebody, now they will know the next time they try you, they are going to have to fight. You might lose, but they're not going to want to fight you every single time. And the fact of the matter is, they treat you like a rope.
Within just a few hours, Clips of the play had gone viral across social media platforms, sports debate shows dedicated. Lengthy discussions to breaking down the incident. Before long, former players, analysts, and fans were all asking the same questions. Had the referees overlooked a critical moment? And was the league's response sufficient? As the debate intensified, it became clear that the issue had grown far beyond a single collision involving Alyssa Thomas and Caitlin Clark.
People don't want to celebrate the greatness that's happening in the WNBA because the league won't even protect its most influential and marketable player. The greatness of the other players in the WNBA gets ignored because the league won't protect the player who is behind its significant growth. The facts today show that too many people still make the debates in the WNBA centered around race and sexuality, not just the results. Drawing a line in the sand and defending any player's dirty play just because of the color of their skin or their sexuality
differently. The WNBA keeps growing. They celebrated its 30th anniversary, so they released a promotional poster. Now, this on top of what happened with Caitlin Clark last night. And by the way, Caitlin Clark's coach maybe too little too late in defending Caitlin Clark. There seems to be a disconnect between.
Rather than remaining focused on a single incident, the discussion expanded into a broader debate over how the WNBA can preserve its physical, competitive style while also ensuring adequate protection for the players driving the league's unprecedented growth. Opinions poured in from every direction, but there was little agreement on what the right solution should be.
I really think that Caitlin Clark needs to leave the WNBA because these people don't realize that everything that they're getting now, all the more money they're getting, the league minimum used to be like $78,000. Now the league minimum for the WNBA is $300,000, with the highest being $1.7 million. And so I think the highest used to be like $150,000 would be the best you can make. Now it's up to $1.7 million. And did you know Caitlin Clark's not even in the top 25?
So you think she should go to the EuroLeague where they can make up to $4 million?
Yep, I think she should. She is the one that brought all these new eyes.
One group insisted that basketball has always been a physical game, arguing that tough contact is simply part of competing at the highest level. Others believe the officials allowed the intensity to cross the line, claiming that the failure to intervene sooner only escalated the situation, caught between those opposing perspectives was the league itself, responsible for reviewing the play after the game and determining whether further disciplinary action was warranted. Whatever the expectation had been, the league's ruling immediately intensified an already heated debate. Following its official review, the WNBA determined that Alyssa Thomas had made reckless contact with Caitlin Clark and upgraded the play to a flagrant 2 violation. The league also issued a 1-game suspension, stating that the incident met the definition of a non-basketball act under its rules. Whether people believe the punishment was justified or too severe, the announcement quickly became one of the most discussed topics in the basketball world. And if there is one thing sports fans love nearly as much as the games themselves, it is debating officiating decisions. Every replay was dissected frame by frame, with countless viewers analyzing every angle like seasoned investigators. Before long, social media had transformed into its own virtual courtroom, complete with self-appointed prosecutors, defense attorneys, and thousands of fans confidently delivering verdicts after replaying the same 6-second clip over and over again.
It wasn't upgraded to a flagrant 1. You guys know how I feel about landing space fouls. I always am on the safe side when it comes to landing space because that is something that you could get very injured off of. And it's one of those things like with the referees, the entire offseason, the CBA, all of this stuff was focused on trying to get the referees to do a better job. The WNBA has been super physical. We have heard players from the past just talk about the physicality of the WNBA and kind of pride themselves on that. But then as a viewer, as a fan, you're like, we don't like this. Like, yes, there's a level of physicality that's going to happen in basketball, but this is to the extreme. And it's also just the consistency, the level of calling fouls consistently across the board and making sure that the players are.
As long as Caitlin Clark remains one of basketball's biggest stars, every hard foul, replay review, and officiating decision involving her will continue to spark intense debate. This controversy has become about more than a single incident, IT has raised broader questions about consistency, player safety, and the WNBA's credibility. Whether the league's response proves to be a turning point or just another chapter in an ongoing discussion will depend on how similar situations are handled moving forward.